The smoke and the flames that are
all the smoke blowing down into lower elevations.
Even if the fire never reached your house, but the smoke did, you need to kind of address that and protect yourself.
Where's she going?
Trying to get video faster than others.
Initially, this was like, oh my gosh, we're so lucky. And now what do you think?
I mean, at first we were relieved when we saw that it was standing. And it's challenging because there's not really a roadmap in how you remediate a home as toxic as ours.
How long did it take for you to realize just how toxic your home is?
We're still realizing. This is the third type of mask that I've now owned. Each time I learn it's not enough, and then I upgrade later, so hopefully this is safe enough now.
This fire went 24 days, and it was over 5,000 homes and Palisades that were completely destroyed, and a bunch more that were partially burned, and then 9,400 homes in Eaton fire. So the sheer number of homes is unprecedented. So when you use the term wildfire, to me, I think of Smokey the Bear. The forest is on fire, you know? But this is a conflagration of a neighborhood. This is like a small city burning down to the ground.
And the toxic load is very different.
It's very different. And it's based on the synthetic contents that we all have. We have lithium batteries and everything now in our computers, in our cars. You know, there's a lot of cars that burn. There's a lot of computers that burn. Solar panels burn. So all of this modern day equipment and furniture. Furniture is made out of plastic. It's a very petroleum-based fire, not so much a biomass fire.
And that smoke is carrying a lot more with it than what you would see in a typical biomass fire.
Right. So as far as sampling, I think my approach is based on the firefighters, and it's proven. Like, I have found a lot of carcinogens. I was ahead of the cancer epidemic in fire, and I'm using that same model. So this smoke, you have to look at the smoke as the bus. That's the bus that carries all the chemistry, all the particulate, the acid gases, the aldehydes, the volatiles, the very volatiles, the semi-volatiles, the particulate, the heavy metal. So you have several points of entry. You have all the doors and windows, the cracks around all the doors and windows, and remember, there are hurricane force winds. That air is pushed hard to come in. And so it's coming through the chimney in that way. It's coming through the dryer vent that exhausts outside.
We found lead levels that exceed EPA limits by 800 times. We found beryllium in our house.
It's a metal, and fine particles can get into your lungs, and your body isn't used to seeing that particular metal, and its response can be sort of harmful to your body itself, the way it tries to fight off that metal, which it can't.
There's arsenic, cyanide.
Cyanide, that's not something you expect to see in a home?
Absolutely not. It definitely wasn't in our house before the fires. I mean, none of these metals were.
What are you hearing from your insurance company?
They believe we can just superficially clean off our items and move back.
What do you think about that?
We're skeptical. And we're still waiting for them to send an industrial hygienist of their own.
No one's been to our house since January.
Since almost a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
What is the explanation for that?
We haven't gotten one.
So at this point, which of you have experienced insurance delays? So all of you. Have you experienced denials for your toxins in your home? All of you.
Yes.
You've all had at least one adjuster come out, right? Mm-hmm. Have you had 2? How about 3? 4 adjusters? 5 adjusters?
It's possible. I've lost count, honestly.
We're on 7.
Oh, gosh.
Do you feel that this is a tactic by the insurance company?
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
Do you restart the process when you switch
Yes,
adjusters?
because then they claim, oh, I don't know, or what they offered you was not in compliance, or we don't have any record of that, and make you essentially make your case all over again and start the clock.
It's exhausting. So maybe there's some kind of hope that we will give up.
When we got a new adjuster, they told us that that wasn't necessary based on photos that they observed from what our first adjuster took.
Based on photos, not anyone else coming into the home. What's your frustration with that?
I mean, you can't see toxins in a photo. You can't see VOCs in a photo. But he told us our house looked pristine. It didn't need a lot of cleaning.
I think what's interesting is some of these homes appear to the naked eye to look really good, but your sampling is showing a different story.
Right. So as an industrial hygienist, we sample for things that are invisible to the naked eye all the time. Particles, you can't see particles in the air that can be very harmful to you, like asbestos or beryllium.
A son that has an autoimmune respiratory disease, and so while other people were moving quickly, I just intuitively, as a mom, knew that I was not going to feel safe in our home until somebody could tell me that the air was safe for him to breathe, because it felt like I would be risking his life.
Now, it might surprise you to learn there are no set standards when it comes to testing toxins in smoke, and there's no standards when it comes to remediation either. The state insurance commissioner formed this task force in May, but there are no environmental scientists on it. And industrial hygienists like Dawn Bolstad-Johnson say there are peer-reviewed publications to use for guidance when both testing and remediating.
There's not a set standard, but there's a lot of published articles on it. Like the National Academies of Sciences has published The Chemistry of Fires at the Wildland Urban Interface, and it clearly defines in the literature what happens when your car catches on fire. What are the emissions that come off of that? And there's a list of what comes off your house when your house is on fire. If you're not sampling for that list of things and you're sampling for something else that's not on that list, you're going to get a negative result.
This is a report that we got. It's 195 pages with over 2,000 data points. And we presented this to our insurance provider, and they told us it was not prescriptive enough.
And now they're saying, well, we want yet another report of our choosing.
Yes, because to them, their report is objective, whereas this one is not objective. Samples were sent to independent labs, and our insurance provider told us, because we hired them, that inherently it's not objective.
And it's objective if they make the hire?
Correct.
There's no safe amount of some of these chemicals in a residential environment. And we shouldn't be forced to live with that.
What do you want your insurance company to understand at this point?
I want them to follow the science.
We had an HVAC specialist come, and he wrote literally a caps lock, "This entire unit must be replaced." Because the thing is, like, whatever they did do, if you do not replace the HVAC and then the minute it turns on, you will recontaminate.
Mm-hmm. What is it going to take to make your homes habitable?
Well, we have to pay attention to the science. So, you can't unfind it once it's been found.
You probably felt so relieved your homes were still standing.
We thought we were the lucky ones.
We thought we were
That's
the
the
lucky
irony.
ones.
And everybody would say, oh my gosh, aren't you so glad?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, that was true.
Yeah.
We really did think we were lucky.
A show of hands, how many wish your house had burned down? I mean, that's tough, that you could actually think that.
Well, now we're left in this very precarious position of deciding, does this family heirloom, is it worth the risk to keep this thing?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard.
That I wish that choice had been taken out of my hands, because now it just feels like we're gambling with our long-term well-being, and it feels like there's so much we don't know.
And our lives are in limbo. They've been in limbo the last year, and I don't know how much longer it's going to be like this, but there hasn't been any progress. We were doing a puzzle right before the fires, this half-finished puzzle, and that's what we feel like we're doing. We're just piecing together our lives, but it's the puzzle itself is clear. So I don't even know what my future is going to look like once I put it back together.
Some really powerful stories there, Carolina. You got a chance to speak with Commissioner Ricardo Lara.
Yes, he was at our station today, and he did address this toxic home issue.
There's nothing worse to hear from folks that tell me they would have much rather have lost their home than have to deal with the smoke damage. It's disheartening, and just because we have no clear standards.
And so what do you say to them? Because I've talked to a number of those people. What do you say to them?
We're going to say we're going to draft legislation. We're going to make it retroactive to make sure that they're covered. And hopefully the legislature has the guts to get this done and protect the Eaton and Palisades fire survivors, because it's time. We need to get that done for them.
What do you say to those in the fire zones and beyond who are calling for your resignation?
Well, I'll say, look, I understand people are frustrated, but we've done everything to protect our consumers. We're going to continue to do so, and we're going to continue to hold insurance companies accountable.